Whew. This is gonna be a hot topic today. We all know guitarists who can play note for note when it comes to covers, who are amazing and really technically skilled, but when you ask them to jam or to improvise with you, they totally freeze. Why? So, a few days ago, I was talking to one of the most amazing and talented musicians I've known in Jordan, a great guitarist with amazing skills and amazing composing and songwriting, great person when it comes to improvising, and I had the pleasure to jam with him a few times back in Jordan. The guy's called Firas Arabi. Check him out. You definitely need to listen to his music. If you are into progressive instrumental music, this is the guy to go to. This happened after the whole, Giacomo Torah issue. Yeah, I know in my video I said Giacomo or Giacoma, and I still insist that I mixed it up with guacamole somehow. Anyway, we're not talking about fake guitarists today. We're talking about proper guitarists who can actually play music. So I was discussing with Firas, remembering a collaboration we did on social media a few years ago during the pandemic, and we noticed that one of the collaborators, who's also a great technically skilled guitarist, his improvised solo was basically, I don't know if I should say note for note, but he was pulling licks from non-guitarists, he was pulling licks from Steve Vai, from Satriani, from John Petrucci. Yeah, that's bad. And we discussed about, plagiarism, was it stealing or not? But it's supposed to be an improvising video, Every one of us played over the same track for a minute or two, and we did improvise over that. Some guys were superior, some guys were like me, were just playing simple basic licks, but it was quite fun, especially during a time of pandemic. One thing that we mentioned, or I mentioned, when we were talking about this guy, is that, oh my god, this guy has always been in cover bands. He's great at covers. He does rearrangement and stuff, and yeah, he's a wonderful guitarist. No issue in that. Okay, no miming. I'm talking to you, Giacomo. But I think, from my own opinion, is guitarists and musicians who tend to only play covers tend to get stuck in that. And they are sometimes really unable to improvise. And I don't know what's the point if you're a musician and you cannot improvise. I can draw an analogy to this. When I was starting with the guitar, I was being classically trained, actually, on the classical guitar, and I still love it. I had a colleague back then at the institute who was an amazing technical player. He was a virtuoso. At sight reading, you can give him any piece, even if it's so complicated, and he would play it easily. But when you just give him a chord progression or a key or something, and you ask him, let's jam together, let's do these things, he's unable to do that. And it's something very, very prominent in classical guitarists. Again, no offense to classical guitarists, because I started as a classical guitarist and I love it. I'm more on the flamenco side of guitar, but I was trained in classically first, then flamenco, picked it up from my dad, which is a different topic. And then I discovered rock and roll, okay? And switched into electric guitar, but I still love playing flamenco every now and then, and some classical pieces. I lost all my skills at sight reading and understanding classical notation properly, because it's a language. If you don't practice it, you lose it. But anyway, so when it comes to technicality, think about it this way. It's like learning a language, okay? So if you learn all the vocabulary in the language and all the grammar, and you can speak it fluently, that's great, yeah? But when it comes to writing poetry in that language, it's different, You need to be really deep in the literature of it. So, in my opinion, music is the same. You can be really technically skilled, but empty, They're like, you don't have an output that is really meaningful apart from playing a cover, which is like, no offense, but if you only play covers, it's just like playing, just like if you are a machine, you're a tab reading machine. That's what I used to call the classical guitarists at my institute, and maybe that's an overstretch, but yeah, I mean, you're just not making music when it's like that. So it's like a language. So the idea of this topic is, I'm thinking, when you are a classical or a cover guitarist, let's stick to rock and covers and stuff like that, you are missing out on actually trying out, trying things out and see if it works or not, if it sounds good or not, if it's cohesive or not. I find this also sometimes with people who dive into music theory and get stuck there, and they start composing in a very certain way that they must obey this rule and that rule, and they must compose in this scale and that scale. Especially, like, the thing with music theory, if you are just like in the shallow depths of it, it can really confuse you and limit you, because it will limit your ear. If you dive deep in it and you understand the correlation between scales and modes and all that, it really frees you and it helps you. It did help me a lot, and I'm still like a novice when it comes to music theory. But if you are not too deep into it, you get stuck. So when it comes to covers, I've always been against covers. Honestly, guys, I've sucked when it came to covers back in the day. Okay, I was like, oh, I want to write my own music since day one, which was bad, because when you think about it, also covers are important, because sometimes you learn skills that are hard to learn, or you didn't think that you would need, thanks to the covers. And I've actually been humbled when I joined the cover band 3 years ago, the cover band Loaded in Jordan, and we had to learn some, like, classic rock stuff, and I had to learn these things, and I discovered, like, fuck's sake, I can't play AC/DC or can't play stuff like very basic stuff. You discover that these songs that sound these songs that sound so easy are actually challenging to play, especially when you're used to a certain style. I was always playing riffs and stuff. I'm a riff guy. I love rhythm guitar more than I love lead. And this brings me to another topic. Also, some guitarists only focus on lead guitar, and they can play amazing solos. They have great skills, sweep picking, alternate picking, all that. But when it comes to riffing, it feels empty, because the meat and potatoes of a song, especially when it comes to heavy music, talking about metal and rock, it is the riffs, these riffs and these full chords and power chords. And so, yeah, it's important to be both. But I find myself more on the rhythmic side. I love making riffs. I think in this day and age, the barrier between being a lead guitarist or a rhythm guitarist is dissolving. You have to do both. You have to be good at both. Back again, when it comes to covers are good. Learn covers. But if your goal is to be a really good musician, if you want to be confident about improvising when you jam with other musicians, if you want to do stuff out of your own mind, you have a tune that is ringing in your head and you want to bring it to life by playing it on your instrument, whether it's a guitar or something else, yeah, by all means, covers will not do it for you. Playing only covers, that's what I mean. So you need to learn both. Learn the covers, and it's good also not to copy the cover note by note. It's nice to know the main riff, the main chord progression, and then make it your own, do your arrangement, but don't plagiarize. If it's a cover, it's a cover. Practicing just techniques can be boring, so it's very interesting to learn a cover that is challenging, and you learn the technique by practicing that cover. Practice by learning music that you enjoy, that you love, so this way you don't feel that it's taking forever. But also you need to get back to basics every now and then, and you practice the very basic physical fitness techniques, for your fingers and stuff like that. It's important. I tend to do that every now and then, and I feel a huge boost in my skill, or at least on my fitness as a guitarist. Playing original music is the best. When you compose something and you see it becoming real, for me, this will always be the best experience. It's important to actually strike out of the box, and just go learn new things or compose new things and try to learn them. Challenge yourself. I didn't intend for this video to be long, but here we are. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and drop a comment down below. Let me know whether you find covers a good way to learn, or are you totally against it, or do you find covers limiting, that you get stuck in a certain style because you just cover the same style over and over again. So thank you very much. You can check out my channel, my other videos and music. Of course, after all, I'm a musician here, even though I'm on YouTube, but I'm making music more than content, so I enjoy music, and I hope you enjoy my music too, and my content to a degree. Thank you very much. Stay tuned to the next one, and see you soon. Cheers.